Our first guest cares too much about sleep and too little about getting it. Maybe that's why he's heading out on his first comedy tour in 7 years. TV host, filmmaker, and comedian Kamau Bell hosted and executive produced the CNN docuseries United Shades of America for 7 seasons. Whoa. That's a lifetime in television. He won a Peabody Award for his docuseries We Need to Talk About Cosby.
So now he's hopping back on stage for his Who's With Me comedy tour, making a stop in New Jersey. So please welcome to New York Living, the man who says he cares too much and sleeps too little, Kamau Bell.
There he is. There he is.
That's hi.
Hey, I'm a hugger.
I am
a
tall.
hugger.
I am tall.
How tall are you?
6'4", 6'6" with the afro.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
We've got some agüita for you.
Thank you.
Our very comfy couches.
Oh yeah, no, it's like one of those IKEA couches that looks like a couch.
It's cinder block.
Like
we just put masking tape on it. Have you seen Beyonce in concert?
Yeah, I actually took my 13-year-old, whatever the last tour was, and it was, yeah, she was great. She was great. Yeah. I mean, what am I gonna say? It was fun.
It was fun.
it was great. It was great to be there with my 13-year-old. Also, her fans are super nice. Like, it's interesting when the artist fans are nice because they could tell that my daughter was young, and so they were like all taking care of her.
That's
and like,
nice.
stand here so you can see, and then you know.
That's sweet.
I was like, this is great. But it's a lot of standing. But anyway,
That's the thing about a concert.
Yeah, but it was great. I mean, it was great. Blue Ivy did. It was great. It was great. Yeah.
At least you got to tick the box. You don't necessarily have to go this time, but
I know. If my daughter hears about it, though.
I was just gonna say, what if she's like, ta-ta?
No, she was like, yeah. Recently, she's
such
like,
a bonding moment.
She's like, I want to go see SZA, and I'm like, oh, SZA's coming. I'm like, no, Kendrick Lamar is coming. That ticket's it's a different ticket. That's a different ticket. Yeah, she's opening for him. That's a different ticket.
Different ticket. So much to talk about. 7 years since you did stand-up.
Yes.
Why now? Lucky 7?
I don't know. It just feels like there's nothing going on in the country, so I thought I would introduce.
You know what? You got nothing to talk
about.
Yeah, there's nothing much going on. No, I mean, you know, I sort of thought I was going to come back in 2020, but then the pandemic happened and had different ideas. Then I thought I was retired and directed a couple documentaries. And then my wife was like, you're just walking around the house talking to yourself and laughing, so maybe it's time to go back to stand-up comedy. I was like, what do you mean?
Do you test out your material on her?
No, but sometimes in conversation I'll say something that is funny, and then I'll sort of get that look like, oh, I gotta write that down. And she realizes she's talking to me, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. I should just, and I sort of zone away.
Right.
Oh my God. So if I do that today, it's because I think something funny happened.
You found
if I don't, nothing funny happened.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
You're so funny. How do you even choose what you talk about? Because you don't just talk about funny stuff. You talk about things that are, you know, very important in the news, but how do you find that balance?
I mean, it's no different than any other comedian. Whatever makes you frustrated, there's some joke there.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a household where my mom was always talking about the issues post-civil rights era, and so, you know, I think there was always laughter whenever you talk about the painful things, and so I got to look at that young guy who's tired.
Look at it's because you care too much and sleep too little.
I do sleep too little. I got 3 daughters, so. Yeah, so I just talk about the things that I care about. I don't mean to be talking about important things, but you know, there are plenty of comedians.
Yeah.
Jeff Dunham, I'm sure, is coming to town soon, so you don't need me to talk. If you want another kind of comedian, that's fine. But I come from that school of like where you want Dick Gregory, you know, Mark Maron, those kind of people.
Right. So are you worried this next 4 years you're gonna run out of things to talk about?
I hope so. I mean,
I hope you run out of everything.
I would love to be like, there's nothing funny and frustrating going on. I would love to just retire because of world peace. Please, God, Jesus, help me. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, I just hope I'm allowed to tell jokes over the next 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, I just hope they don't DEI
banned.
me out of jokes. We got too many black people telling jokes. We gotta get them out of here. Jokes are only for white men.
That's it.
It's too much for early in the morning in New York. I'm sorry.
Are you crazy? Never too early.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
To the contrast of that, and I find this in sports as well, where folks will get on there and say, I want to be entertained. I don't want to talk about politics.
Yeah.
And my answer is always, I'm sorry, but for certain people, it's always politics. It just is. How do we find, you know, again, back to the balance?
I promise those people, I'm not going to show up at your house and force you to listen to an hour of my act.
Right.
My face is going to be on the place. I encourage you to Google lots of people bring their friends who they like, you need an intervention. That's not my fault. One of my favorite things I ever heard coming out of one of my comedy shows, somebody told me this. Two friends walked out, and one guy goes, "That was the best comedy show I've ever seen." The other guy goes, "That was the worst comedy show I've ever seen." I was like, yay! Destroying bridges, the W. Kamau Bell story. And I feel like those two guys are going to have a conversation they never were going to have, thanks to me. So yeah, there's lots to be entertained by. I'm not forcing you to come to my show. I can't sign an executive order to make you come to my show. But so if you don't like it, don't come. And and if you leave, I'm not going to make fun of you. I'll be like, thank God that person left who wasn't laughing.
But you're kind of like therapy for a lot of folks because you bring this relief, and you say things that people want to say, but don't feel like it's safe enough to say what you're saying. I mean, what do you do then to find your release?
I don't know.
Not sleep.
Space?
Not sleep.
Yeah, right.
I dream about moving to New Zealand. I guess that's what I do. I look at New Zealand tourism videos and like, look at that. My friend's like, New Zealand's boring. I'm like, I would love boring. Yeah. So, I have me and my wife, and we got 3 daughters, and I am lucky that like my 3 kids are awesome. I know a lot of people's kids aren't awesome, so I have a lot of fun with my kids.
He's speaking the truth.
Some people don't like their kids. So I have not looked at anybody's children on this set. Some people don't like their kids. Some people are raising jerks. Where do you think jerks come from?
Yeah.
So I am lucky to have 3 awesome kids. And so,
great.
And they're all so funny. And like my oldest daughter sings and plays guitar, so she comes on stage with me sometimes. My middle kid does jokes with me on stage. They might come to me when I'm on the road. So yeah, it's
a whole family affair.
It's the Blackridge family.
Have they watched? I know. I say things all the time, and they're like, "Who?" And I'm like, "Oh Lord, here I am being old." Did they watch you on Jeopardy?
Yes. Actually, we watched that episode several times. So they think they're winning the game, even though they've just memorized the answers.
They know how it ends.
Yeah,
How was that like for you? Because it was fun
it was
to watch.
surreal. It was great to be on there to raise money for Donors Choose. People asked how I prepared. I'm just a person who gets curious and reads everything. So I just know a lot about a little and hoped it worked out, and it did work out. And we got to raise money for Donors Choose, which helps teachers raise money for classroom projects. So I am now the Department of Education. So that's
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please keep I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings in your curriculum. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was a lot of fun. I hope we gave you a little bit of fodder.
This was fun. This is
good stuff.
This is good. I'm taking this with me.
It's a door prize. Freshest water out of the East River. Get tickets to Kamau's Red Bank show by heading to his website, wkamaubell.com.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much.